everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today I'm starting a reading vlog for you all this month. I am super excited for this because 2 months ago in February, no, that is last month. Last month in February, I read 2 or 3 books that were spy themed. And if you don't know me and you're new here, spies are huge for me in books. I don't care if it's historical fiction, sci-fi, fantasy, contemporary romance. I don't care. I'll get me all the spies and espionage and the fun. So I thought I would start a new series. I kind of want to do at least 4 videos like this year, maybe one every quarter or something. But I really wanted to read books with a specific word in the title. And this month is the word spy or spies, spying even. Any one of those, I just want the word spy in the title. So I did make a kind of a rough list of what I want to read, but since of course I am trying to mood read more this month, since I had such a reading packed filled month in February, these might not be exactly what I'm reading, but I do have one that I really want to read. This one's called Spies Don't Fall for Their Arrival by Meg Easton. I read the first book last month, absolutely loved it, and I need to continue on with the series. And I think there's only 2 so far, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So I don't know if there's gonna be another one. I'm excited. It's gonna be lots of fun. So we're gonna read spy books for a whole week. We're just gonna have lots of fun. So let's go ahead and get started reading.
Hey guys, it is a beautiful almost spring day. It's like in the 50s today, so mom and I have just been hanging out. We've been shopping, having a good time. So I wanted to update you on what I've been reading. So I did finish Spies Don't Fall for Their Rival. Spies Don't Fall for Their Rival by Meg Easton. I liked it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as the first book. I think like the first third of this book was a little bit on the slower side, but then it did pick up and I did end up really enjoying the ending of it. So I did finish that one, and I'm currently reading like 4 other books right now, so I'm not exactly sure when I'll be able to pick up another spy book, but I do have some options that I have. I'm gonna pick up by Paulo Coelho, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. It's just literally called The Spy, and I'm really intrigued about it because this is a historical fiction, a retelling inspired by Mata Hari, which is like probably one of the most famous spies in history, and I'm just intrigued to see where the story goes. She was like kind of like a femme fatale of, I believe, World War I. Don't quote me. I could be wrong about that, but I'm really intrigued to see where this story is going to go. So I think that's the next one I'm going to pick up. I have the audio for it, so we'll see if I like it. I'm really hoping to like it.
Hey guys, an update on reading right now. I DNF'd The Spy by, I can't remember his name, Paulo something, but I just was not enjoying that one, that's for sure. It was very, very slow, and there was one part that was pretty explicit as far as like the hurting of a young girl in school. I know it's her life, but I was like, no. And it was very biographical, I guess. So it was by Paulo Coelho. I think that's how I pronounce his name, or Cholho maybe. But yes, I DNF'd that one. And then I started one called The American Spy by Lauren Wilkinson. I'm unsure if I want to continue. There's nothing really wrong with it, but I'm just finding it very, I would say it's an interesting writing style where the main character is kind of jumping back and forth between kind of writing like a biographical sketch of her life to her kids, like saying this is what happened to me, etc. And then she's jumping back to when she was actually a spy with the CIA. So I'm like, okay, it's an interesting style. I'm not sure if it's for me or not. It's okay so far. So I'm going to continue that one, seeing if I like that one. This is probably going to be the last spy book that I try. So I did read 2 out of the 3 that I wanted. It's just March is coming up and ending a lot quicker than I thought. And so I kind of just wanted to get a little bit more mood reading done by the end of the month. So I think this might be my last spy book for this reading vlog. So I am going to continue this one. I'm going to go and work out a little bit, and that will be the end of my night. Oh, and editing a few videos before tomorrow, because I have to do that as well.
Hey guys, so as far as reading goes this week, I had probably the worst reading weeks I've ever had because I got food poisoning, as you may have heard from my community tab, that yes, I got food poisoning on last Wednesday. It is now Sunday. I am doing quite a bit better. I am still lightheaded, but I pretty much doused myself with Powerade, not sponsored, and water yesterday and the day before and the day before that. And I've literally only been eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because I don't want to introduce anything new until I know for sure that this is gone, because today I got to meet one of my childhood heroes, and I was going to tell him that literally he was probably in every game of MASH that I ever played growing up in middle school and high school. I don't know if you all know that game, but it's like you made a list of like the houses that you wanted, the jobs that you wanted, the men you were going to marry, you know, all that. Wesley from The Princess Bride was always on that list. I remembered that this morning. I was like, oh yeah, he was always on that list. Like, I think he was probably like the one that, like, no matter who else I put on it, I think he was the one that was always on my list. So I got to meet him today. And I will show pictures because we couldn't take our own photos or anything, which is totally fine. I get it. They had to be quick and professional. And he couldn't sign my book. I have been painting a copy of The Princess Bride, which is a work in progress. I don't know if I'll finish it in this video or not. I have the front for the most part done. I'll put a little clip of it right here, but I used acrylic paint. I had a lot of fun. He loved it, which I was really happy about. Of course, he couldn't sign it because we couldn't bring anything outside to get signed, but we did get a copy of his book signed, which was awesome. So now I have a second copy of his book, As You Wish, which I am excited about. So I probably will end up possibly unhauling my other copy. I don't know yet because it's not signed, and this one is, and I really want to keep this one. So yes, so that was amazing. I will never be washing this outfit ever again because I got not one, but 2 hugs. And I'm like, because I met Josh Turner at this college a few years ago, and I never asked for a hug. And it sorely still eats at me that I never asked for a hug. And I'm like, I really wanted a hug from Carrie because Carrie just meant a lot to me growing up. So I'm like, if I don't ask for a hug, then yeah. So I got not one, but 2 hugs out of meeting him, which I absolutely loved. And so, yes. And he was the really nicest guy ever. He called me sweet, and it was really nice. Like, he actually asked my name, so I got to hear Katie coming from his lips. So that was great too. But it was such a nice, it just happened too quickly though. I gotta admit, I'm like, it just happened way too fast. But it was really nice to get to meet him, and he did hold my book that I painted, so like, I do have his fingerprints, you know, if I ever want to make a piece of jewelry or something out of his fingerprints. I was thinking about that though, actually. I laughed. I'm like, hey, I can make a piece of jewelry out of Carrie's fingerprints, but no, I probably wouldn't even be able to find them. But it was such a fun time. Can you tell I'm blabbering? I am a little starstruck and still can't believe that I got to meet Wesley. Yes, and the movie still hasn't happened yet. This is all beforehand. It happened quite early, if I'm being honest. Like, the meet and greet and photos were like at 12. I got here at 11:15, and thankfully, I'm like, because for some reason, like, signups started at 11:30 for our tickets to meet him, and I'm like, I came here at 11:15 thinking it was gonna be a huge line. I was 5th in line, so I was like, okay. There's like nobody here right now, which is amazing. And then everybody else showed up at like 11:30. So I was like, okay, that's where all the people are. There was, I'm guessing, a good 100 people, but I'm like, it's between 12 and the movie doesn't start until 3. I know the doors open at like 2:30 for the movie, but I'm like, 2.5 hours, especially when you're only doing like a photo with him, seems a little excessive, even for like 100 people. It just seemed like a really long time. So I'm here in the car waiting another hour and a half almost before I can go in to go sit down and watch the movie. There's a live Q&A, which he's probably going to talk a lot about things that happen in the movie, which I'm sure are similar to his book As You Wish, which I have read. It's just been a little while since I read it. But yes, so I did not wear technically anything Princess Bride, but if you know the Princess Bride, you know the color scheme of the Princess Bride. So I wore a bright red pantsuit, which is for Buttercup, and I wore a black blazer for Wesley with his Dread Pirate Roberts black color. So yes, I am excited to join in with the rest of the fans to watch the movie. I'm sure there will be a ton of us quoting every single line that's happening in the movie, which I'm totally fine with because that's what I do at home anyways. So that's the plan for the rest of the day. It's getting really windy here. Thankfully, it's not super cloudy, but I have a feeling it's going to storm here. So I probably will just relax a little bit and then go in before it starts storming. I hope it doesn't. Pray that it doesn't. And you're watching this after Sunday anyways, but we'll see. Okay. Yeah. So no photos though, no videos are happening in there because I didn't want to be kicked out. So yes, I might take a quick photo during the Q&A thing, but I don't want to get in trouble. So so we're just gonna have fun. I'm gonna watch the movie and I will update you all probably either tonight at home because it's gonna be too dark to film in the car. So we're gonna do it at home or tomorrow. This is really good. I wasn't going to leave the parking lot because I'm it's going to fill up like crazy, especially if there's going to be a lot of people coming to the movie part. It wasn't filled up for the meet and greet, which is good. But there's a close parking lot, there's a semi-close parking lot, and then there's eons away. I do not want to be in eons away. So I was do I want to risk it and leave the parking lot before the movie goes? So I was yes, I probably should because I have not eaten since 10 this morning, and it's now 1:30, and so I'm I only had a very small peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm I really need to eat something because the movie and the Q&A are probably going to go up until at least, I'm guessing, 6 o'clock tonight because the movie starts at 3, Q&A's after. So movie's an hour and a half. I'm thinking Q&A's probably an hour at least, so yeah, that's a good dinner time. So I went to my favorite bubble tea place, not realizing that I haven't been there in a very long time, and they no longer serve small dinner plates. I was oh, so they only had dessert and bubble tea, which I do want a bubble tea, but I have Powerade and water in the car. I didn't need a third drink. So I might get one on the way home. I don't know yet. But what I did realize was, I didn't want to eat dessert because I'm that's really heavy. They had cheesecake and all these rich foods. I'm my stomach cannot handle this right now since I got sick. So I'm no. So they said they have food next door. I'm okay. So I walked in. I thought it was Chinese food at first. It was Vietnamese, which I actually love Vietnamese food. It's one of my favorites. So because they have pho and banh mi's, which are probably one of my favorites. They're just sandwiches, but I can tell this one is authentic, pretty close to authentic. It's authentic Vietnamese, not I've actually had it, but it has fresh vegetables. It's got chicken in it and some kind of dressing on it, and I can tell it's a lot lighter than most food would be in my stomach right now. So I'm this is perfect. So I'm gonna eat this. It's 1:40 right now. I have until about 2 o'clock to get in there, and seating starts at 2:30. So, but I want to get in there, and get my ticket going and stuff. So that's the plan. So I'm going to have fun. I'm going to relax and watch the movie. It's been a little while since I've seen the movie. I watch it probably once a year, once every other year, on a regular cycle at least. I'll watch it more. I probably would have watched it before this if I thought about it. But so we're going to go watch the movie, and then I am going to head home afterwards, rest, and hopefully get back into reading as well because I have not read hardly a single thing in the past 5 days.
Hey guys, I have been filming, not all day, but I've been filming up here in my room for the past half hour or so, filming a couple of videos for the next week or so, but I told you I would update you on yesterday because I kind of filmed a little bit in between, what happened, and then going to the movie and stuff. The movie was so much fun. I did wish that I got center seats versus like on the left hand side, but I'm totally okay with that. Thankfully, the screen was not that big, so like it didn't feel like you were hurting your neck watching the movie, which was really good. But it was just such a good time hanging out with probably 500 plus people, all loving this movie. You can probably tell that some people didn't go with their loved ones just because their loved ones loved the movie, but it was just really, really great. And as I said, meeting him was really, really great. And I said in a video last week that I got to hug my favorite book character. I was not lying about that. Wesley from The Princess Bride has been my favorite book character since as long as I can remember. 20 plus, way more years than that, I'm sure. But yes, Wesley from The Princess Bride has been and probably always will be my favorite book character. And so being able to hug my favorite book character in real life, not gonna lie, best feeling ever. And yes, I did hug him not once but twice. And I told my mom last night, I may be greedy, but I'm not stupid. Like, I'm sure not many people, like, some people could have gone in for a hug. I was going in for two. I was like, yeah, I'm getting two. But yeah, it was great. The Q&A after, like, I knew some of the stories were from his book, As You Wish, because obviously, he's going to talk about his book as well. But just, he is such a storyteller. Like, I would literally go again just to hear him speak. And if he does come back next year, I probably will. And I would want to meet him again because why not? But just hearing him talk and sharing the stories, like he did different voices for all the people who were on the cast and stuff, and just his personality, like he was very, very funny. I found myself laughing so much during the question and answers. And I do know some people, like I saw different comments from others of his shows were like he just like, reshared stories that were in his book and stuff. I'm like, but like hearing it come from him, it was so much more personal and more fun, I think. I have read his book. It's been quite a long time, and a few people were like, you should reread it before you go, and I was like, no, I don't want to, like, and it was more special that way because I kind of did forget some things, and when he brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember that in your story. So it was really nice to kind of hear the background, and I highly recommend his book. If you have not read it, it's such a fantastic read about all of the antics and the humor and the fun that went behind making the movie. It's such a great book. And so he could not sign my book, which was totally fine. But I did because I did buy the VIB tickets. I did get his book signed, which I love. It was already signed. I'm sure his poor hand fell off by the time he was finished with all those. But I do have a copy of his book, which I actually have another one. I'm thinking I'll just unhaul that one because like this one is, well, number one, it's new and it's signed, and so I do have his autograph, and I am very, very happy that I have a copy of his book. So yes, I did promise I would share the book with you. I ended up not putting it on camera like in that little skit thing, but this is what it looks like so far. It's not quite the way I imagined it, but it's not complete yet because I was literally working on it until like 1 o'clock in the morning almost on the night before, so it's not done. Don't even look at the back. It's terrible. But I did finish the print on the side. I repainted the font so it matched. I'm like, I really need to actually see that. So I'm actually probably going to keep this downstairs on my other bookshelf. So it'd be nice to see. But he did hold it, and honestly, like it just felt very personal. Like it was really great that he loved it. And so he did hold my book. And he did love it. He even leafed through it. I was like, I mean, he is a fan of the book as well, because he read it when he was 13 years old, which, come to think about that, actually could be roughly how old I was when I read it for the first time. It could be, if I'm not mistaken. So we could have been about the same age when we discovered it. But I did complete it. I actually love the front, the clouds especially. I'm like, those clouds, girl, like, pretty stinking good clouds. So I love this. I'm not sure if I want to change like the figures of them. Like at first they had like really really bright yellow hair. I was like, that is so bad. And then, oh man, Wesley's poor face. Like, I had to fix his face like 5 times with pencil, maybe more than that before I got to where it was like, okay, this is close enough. But I want to do on here. I probably will share a little bit when it gets closer to when it's done. But I wanted to do like the first kiss from like the beginning of the movie. And then on the back, I'm gonna have the last kiss from the movie. So I figured beginning and end, the whole romance story on both sides. So I really like this. And this is like, I do not like this. I did fix it a little bit, so it's better than what it was, but I had a stencil thinking to myself, this is going to be great. This is going to work. I don't have to do the stencil work all by myself. It's going to be fantastic. And what does it do? I do not recommend using a metal stencil. Yeah, if you're going to use acrylic paint and a metal stencil, no, just don't. Because it completely went underneath, even though I had like a death grip on the stencil part. I do not recommend. No, honestly, a paper stencil probably would have been better. I just think a metal stencil was not the right choice. So it completely messed this up. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and freehand. I did not freehand these parts, but I freehand the rest of the border. I freehanded the rest of this stuff. But I didn't like, the hearts were an accident. Like I was gonna do scroll work in the center too, and it turned into a heart. Like I didn't like the scroll work, and I was like, the heart is so much better. I like it. So this is my Princess Bride Painted Edition. It's just not done yet. But I do really, really love how it looks, and it could end up being my favorite Princess Bride book I own because I took the time to have fun with it. And I love having fun with it. And thankfully I was not nauseous until like the last hour of my work. But these are actually going to go in my bookcase downstairs. Not locked away, but behind glass. You know, and nobody's touching this one because Carrie always and I were the only ones to ever touch this Princess Bride book. So I do have his fingerprints on here somewhere. I was kind of tempted to see if I could find them, but no, I'm not that crazy. No, I'm not that crazy. I was talking about it though the entire day. I had a dentist appointment today for cleaning. I talked with everybody about it, and only one person was excited for me. I just had a great time. Yes. So I am going to go ahead, and since thankfully I still have a week before this vlog comes out, I actually have time now and more health now to read some more spy books. So I just thought it would be kind of a good time to read some more spy related books. So we'll have a little bit more of reading in this reading vlog now that my excitement is slowly going down. Although honestly, I'm not gonna lie, my excitement has probably gone up since I've met him. So that doesn't help any. But can you tell? I'm beaming because, I mean, seriously, he was like, if I'm being honest, like I always say, kind of funny, I always say that Sean Connery was kind of like my big crush. Like Elvis Presley was like kind of my first crush, but it was more of his music than like actual like crush. Like I would have said Sean Connery was, but like I keep thinking about it, I'm like, no, like yeah, Sean Connery was, you know, really good looking when he was younger. But like Wesley Carriel was just like, I don't know, I think it's because he was, number one, he was like one of my youngest crushes that I had probably back then. I don't know, just I always had crushes on guys that were like 40 and up, apparently. But I mean, you know, schoolgirl crushes on movie stars, right? But Carrie always was my favorite book character to come to life. And I think that's why I think he will always remain my favorite. So, yes. So that'll be, yeah, I had a great time. Can you tell? I did. All right, I am going to go take a break now. I'm going to go edit some videos for this week first. And then I'm going to go ahead and just relax, read, and enjoy my day. I completely failed today. I went out with my family to, we just went out for lunch and antique shopping, and I filmed nothing. Normally I have this great plan of like filming a little bit so I can put a clip here. Absolutely nothing. I do apologize, but at least you get to know our plans. I did get one pin that's like a Mickey pin. I can show you that. So I got this, It's really cute. It's got Mickey on it, and it says it was all started with, and then it opens up like a little door, and both sides open up, and it's got like Mickey on that side, Mickey on the inside, and Mickey on that side, and it's really, really cute. So it's got kind of like all of the different eras of Mickey, and then it has Mickey and Walt on the inside. So I really like that. I think it was like $9, which isn't terrible for a Disney pin, but so I got that, and that was the only thing that I got. We ended up going out to eat, as I said, and then I ate something too heavy for myself, just getting better from what I had last week, and I'm like, I should not have eaten that because I had some stomach problems on the way home, but at least it didn't happen during the antique shopping. So that's all we did. I did end up finishing one more book that had the word spy in it. I finished American Spy and found it very slow. I was not a fan of the writing style, like the jumping back and forth between like her kind of writing her memoirs to her children, plus, you know, what was going on during like the Cold War era. But I enjoyed parts of it. Like, I kind of like the idea of like the US spies and kind of like that era, but it was just very, very slow paced to me. And there was like some parts where the main character was like told to seduce a married man, and so I was not a fan of that. I don't think, from what I'm remembering, I don't think there was anything super explicit to me. I think there might have been like one small scene, but it was very, very quick. But yeah, so I wasn't a fan of that part of the story. As I said, it was very slow. I was not a fan of the slow parts, so that was unfortunate. So that's probably the last book I'm gonna pick for this vlog, just because as I said, I guess the word spy was kind of a miss, which is kind of sad because I do love a good spy book, but apparently the word spy isn't exactly gonna come out with some great results. But I do want to do another video like this, so if you have a specific word you want me to find in titles, I would love to know down in the comments. That way I can pick a few to do this vlog again, because I would like to try to do this again with a different word. So give me some options, give me some choices. So this is going to be the end of the vlog because I don't think I have anything else going on. So mostly just reading a little bit of that fun event that I went to. That was so much fun, the Princess Bride event. I'm still thinking about it. I loved it. But yes, so this week I'm actually going to be hanging out with a friend. We're gonna walk around the mall, go to a craft store. That I could film, but if I do, I will just put it in the next vlog that happens down the road. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. As I said, put down some options for me to read specific books with very specific words. So we'll see. I don't have one in mind. I do have one like toward closer to my birthday, like 2 different vlogs for that, but give me some fun options. I'd love to hear what you have to say. All right, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next vlog.